Red Bull can't fight for the win. Those aren't my words, they're straight from four-time world champion Max Verstappen's mouth. What's up guys? The F1 season opener in Melbourne is just around the corner, and we've got some absolutely mind-blowing news from the defending champions camp. The dynasty that dominated Formula 1 for the past 4 years might be crumbling before our eyes. Is this the end of Red Bull's era of dominance? Or is this just mind games from the Dutch champion? We'll reveal what's really happening behind the scenes by the end of this video. In this video, I'll break down exactly what's wrong with the RB21, show you the shocking test data that has the paddock buzzing, and reveal which team Verstappen himself considers the new favorite. Plus, I've got exclusive insights on the technical problems that are keeping Adrian Newey up at night. What exactly did Verstappen mean when he said their car can't be worse than last year? Which orange team did Max specifically call out as the new title favorite? And what's this mysterious handling issue that Red Bull engineers have been trying to fix for almost a year now? Stay until the end, because I'll reveal exclusive insider information about Red Bull's emergency upgrade package that they're rushing to Melbourne, information that hasn't been reported anywhere else. So let's dive into this bombshell. During a Viaplay media event last Friday, Max Verstappen dropped what might be the most surprising statement of the preseason: "I don't think we can fight for the win already in Melbourne." Let that sink in. The guy who dominated the sport with 4 consecutive championships doesn't believe he can even compete for victory at the season opener. This is unprecedented territory for Red Bull. Just last year, Verstappen took pole in Melbourne by a massive 0.270 seconds. Now he's essentially conceding defeat before the cars have even hit the track. What exactly went wrong during testing? The Bahrain preseason sessions exposed multiple issues with the RB21. First, the team couldn't even complete their race simulations after Liam Lawson encountered water pressure problems. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. The real concern is the car's handling. According to reports from Sakir, the RB21 suffers from understeer slow corners while oversteering in high-speed curves. Basically the worst of both worlds for a driver. But here's where it gets really interesting. When asked which team could compete for the title this year, Verstappen didn't mention Ferrari or Mercedes. Instead, he specifically said, "At the moment only one, and that team is orange." That's right, McLaren. The team that's been steadily climbing the ranks has apparently made the leap to championship contenders, at least in Max's eyes. Their long-run pace in Bahrain testing was reportedly exceptional. But if McLaren is now the favorite, what exactly does that mean for the rest of the grid? And more importantly, how bad is Red Bull's situation really? Let's dig deeper. Red Bull's technical director Pierre Watch didn't sugarcoat things after testing, calling it not as smooth a test as we expected and admitting they're not as happy as I could be because the car did not respond how we wanted at times. What makes this situation even more concerning is that these aren't new problems. Red Bull has been struggling with handling issues for almost a year now, dating back to the middle of the 2024 season. The RB20's notorious unpredictability seems to have carried over to the RB21. The most telling quote from Max might actually be this one: "In terms of balance, it does feel a bit more connected when entering the corners and also in the middle of the corners. But on the other hand, there are still problems with the curbs and with the bumps." There is one silver lining in all this. Verstappen did mention that everything can be set up a little bit better in Melbourne than in Bahrain. The different track characteristics might help mask some of the RB21's weaknesses. But is a better setup enough to overcome what appears to be fundamental design flaws? Or does Red Bull need something more drastic? Let's find out. Here's where we get to the heart of Red Bull's problems. The team that revolutionized ground effect aerodynamics now seems to be struggling with the very concept they pioneered. My sources in the paddock tell me that Red Bull's aggressive design philosophy has hit a development ceiling. While the RB21 generates tremendous downforce in ideal conditions, it becomes unpredictable when dealing with real-world track conditions like bumps and curbs. This explains Verstappen's frustration when he said, "Those things are obviously not our strongest points, and I keep mentioning that. It doesn't always have to be said to the outside world, but during the meetings we obviously talk a lot about it." The most telling part? Verstappen's admission that the new car can't be worse than last year, even though he won the championship. This shows just how difficult the RB20 was to drive despite its results, and suggests the team has prioritized drivability over pure performance with the RB21. Now, here's the exclusive information I promise. According to my sources at Milton Keynes, Red Bull is preparing an emergency floor upgrade for Melbourne. The team has been working around the clock on a new design that addresses the car's sensitivity to bumps and curbs. This isn't just a minor tweak, it's a fundamental rethink of their floor concept that could make or break their early season. So, is this the end of Red Bull's dominance? Based on everything we've seen, the team is definitely on the back foot heading into Melbourne, but counting out Adrian Newey, Christian Horner, and especially Max Verstappen would be a massive mistake. While McLaren may indeed be the favorites for the Australian Grand Prix, Red Bull's development pace has been remarkable in the past. This isn't the end of an era, it's the beginning of what could be the most competitive F1 season in recent memory. If you want to see my breakdown of exactly how McLaren has leapfrogged the competition and whether they can maintain this advantage throughout the season, check out my video right here. I dive deep into their innovative suspension design that's got everyone in the paddock talking. Click now, you won't want to miss it.